The user has tried to sync their device, but the user got a message saying their connectivity to Google Apps is pending. Now I've logged in as the administrator. We can see I'm the administrator account in the domain. I'm looking at my mailbox and I've got this message, device management. So I'm going to click on that message. We can see here this message is telling us what has occurred. And we see here that the Andy Android has requested to set up a new device, and we will need to go ahead and approve that device. We see the device ID and the user agent on that, the device policy. We can now go to the next step where we can approve Andy's phone. I'm going to go now to the admin control panel. Let's take a look at Andy Android. Before we do that, let's take a look at his account. And I'll scroll down to the bottom. What do we see here? These are the devices that have synced. So we see here the latest one. It's the second one. They've actually synced prior to this earlier with a different phone. And in this one here, which is the MB855, the Motorola Photon, I have synced here, and there's the date and time for that device. So that's the one we're actually looking at, not the one previous. And now I'm going to go to Settings, Mobile. And what do I notice here? At the top now I see activations as 3. So I'm going to click on Activation 3, and I'm going to look for Andy's phone. And we see here Andy's phone right over here. We can see their email address, so they have a alias, and their device ID, and I can view additional details. So there's additional details when they first sync their OS on the device, which is important to remember because it'll help you identify if you can actually implement the encryption. Okay, so in this one here I'm 2.3.4 and the device policy 3.0.4. Now applications, that would list all the applications that I did not go and do that. So now I'll go ahead and approve that phone. And we see that it is approved. Now we see Andy Android. We see Andy's phone. His status now has changed from pending to approved. And we can also see Andy's device in the list here as well. Now, if Andy has lost their phone, when Andy calls us, we could do a remote wipe. We could also block that phone as well and have them reactivate. Should I block or wipe the phone? First of all, check with the corporate best practices of your organization on what is appropriate for your needs. Now, if you block the phone, the user's phone no longer has access to Google Apps to sync up, but the data on the phone still exists. So if a temporary situation where the user may have left their phone at home, and they know that the phone isn't compromised or stolen, this might be appropriate, but remember, check with your organization's policies. Wiping a phone, in contrast, will remove all the data. If the user's lost their phone and a wipe is performed, when the user does find their phone, they will have to start again from factory resets. So it does wipe all the data.